Hello everyone, it's Kevin and today I'm gonna make a Japanese diorama. As you can see behind me, the scene is gonna be inside a dojo. I'm gonna have the room cut in half and have two fighters fighting inside. I have some pack from Blood Orange miniature that I had a long time ago. There is a lot of like a Japanese style miniature. Some girls have some kind of fighting pose inside, so I'm gonna print two of them. I'm gonna put them inside the dojo and have this scene going like this. Everything is going to be a bit tiny. Last time that I've made the Japanese diorama, everything was a bit big. Took me a lot of time, so I went smaller, it's better. As you can see in Tinkercad, I've went with some really basic shapes. I mean, the walls, they are just rectangle, some trims around. I'm really bad at 3D modeling, and Tinkercad is the only one I can use almost, so I just do my best inside this one. The tatami, I've used some texturing with some of the shape that they have inside, so it took me like, it was a bit rough on the software, but I was able to make the tatami and then just my basic shape of the wall and Japanese door behind. The katana and the scroll, I find them on Thingiverse and then I try to put them inside the diorama. Same for the wooden frame, I just try to find some wooden plank, put them around the way I wanted, and everything is pretty easy, pretty simple. I've kept everything separate. I'm gonna print each wall alone and it should be okay. See you in Cheeto box and I'm going to show you what kind of support that I have. Okay, so here I have all my support ready. All the thing was pretty easy. There are walls and beams, so I went ahead, I just put a bunch of support on the side and behind. They're not perfect, but that's enough. I have the 2 mini that I talk about. They're part of the Patreon, so I'm not gonna release those guys. But the whole dojo and everything that I made in Tinkercad will be on my mini factory or Thingiverse. I will try to release a pack with the normal STL, the Cheeto box version with my support, and I will put a link in the description below. It's gonna be free, and if you make it, just send me a picture and show me how it looks. Everything is done printing and everything came out pretty nicely. Some of the classic problems that you have when you print straight line, for example the floor here or the wall, when you have the build plate just putting the stuff, the line is not really straight. You have all the support dent and everything is bending a little bit, so the fit is not perfect. I'm just gonna have to sand a little bit, make sure everything is square and straight, but that's fine, that's pretty easy cleanup. And even the tiny part like the Japanese door came out pretty nicely. Same for the character. The support that I used for them were a bit messy, I went a bit quick, but the cleanup was not too hard, so that's fine. I'm gonna build the room, keep the character separate, make sure everything is clean and ready to prime and paint, and I'm gonna start painting, let's go. Okay, so here I start with the character, the 2 minis. I had a good time painting those one, a lot of fun. I didn't went super crazy on detail and trying to be smooth and technical. I just tried to have some fun. I started with the skin, I gave some volume and then I applied the wash here. There is a lot of small detail, the straps around the leg and everything, so the wash really helped to capture all the recesses. So it was pretty nice. Here I'm doing the base coat of the coat, and then when the wash was dry I went ahead and I cleaned up the mess. I think that's kind of one thing people maybe sometimes don't do, like for beginners, myself included at the start. It's like when you use some wash you need to clean after because it's gonna be a bit dirty. Here I went with another one which is the red kind of flesh tone washes. It's really great to add just some red color and add some like life to the skin. And when I was done I went ahead and tried to give some more highlights. And the result was pretty nice. Here I'm on the second one. I'm pretty advanced already. I've done the skin, the armor. I went with the jade color, which was kind of nice. I like it. Here I'm doing the 2 tonfa. I think that's tonfa, I'm not sure about the name. And then I start on my scene, the dojo. Apply some base coat first. And here I'm just dry brushing over for the wood. I went with 3 colors, so the base coat dark brown and then a bit of like a leather brown dry brush, and the last color was probably leather brown with some bone color to brighten a bit the color. And here at the wall I'm using this kind of pale skin tone that I had, which is nice color. Going back on the mini, I'm just finishing some details, the hair. I still try to take my time. I had some small detail, like I'm not gonna like quickly finish those minis. They're really nice and you can have a good result on them, so that's great. And here I'm dry brushing again, a lot of dry brush on the walls. It's gonna give me some texture because everything is pretty flat, and I'm gonna brighten the wall. And here I'm washing the tatami, so I want to get all the texture that I made in the Tinkercad. I want it to pop out, so I'm using the wash. I'm trying to not let everything pull. I know I'm gonna have some mark, it's not gonna be super smooth, but I try to drag down the wash, make sure it's not gonna get stuck in one place. And when I was done, more dry brushing over. I'm trying to fade the wash. I don't want everything to look super dark. So I'm just gonna go over quite a lot. And here I'm adding some really small brown on the side of the tatami, so I'm just following the contour, just to give some volume, a bit of a 3D vibe to it. And then I'm just painting the middle. And here I'm doing the scroll, so I decided to just write down Dojo in Japanese. I was not sure what to write. I went online, find the kanji, and here I'm using the pencil first to mark down the two characters. It's a bit annoying because the part of the wall, so the small part which is the right wall, is on the way, so it's hard to really like draw. As you can see, my pencil and now my brush is a bit on the side. It was a bit painful. But I did my best. I went slow. The goal is not to be perfect, but just to have the idea. Make it sure it's the cleanest that I can do in this position. And here after on the scroll, I just had some pattern. I've tracked some line along the way, and then I've changed the direction of the line on top and bottom, just to add some texture. And the final touch was to put some baking paper, so that's the one I use for my wet palette. I have a lot of it laying around. I've put some PVA behind, and I'm using this instead of the normal like paper rice that they use. And it's doing the job. Putting the last touch on it now, the beam on top as well. And here we have it. I'm finally done with the diorama. I'm really happy with the result. The whole creative process was really nice for me, between finding the ideas, trying to think about what kind of room I would have, from what angle and everything. So I went back and forth with some idea first, then I went on Tinkercad and I've messed around. I've built the set, and when I had the one that I liked, started the printing. I had the 2 models from Blood Orange Miniature, which are really cool, and then the whole painting process was really nice. I really enjoyed it, and I think the result is great. You really have the fight and the scene kind of frozen in time, so I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the size as well, so it was just a nice time on it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and if you want more, subscribe, comment, give me a like, all the stuff, and see you next time.